Not Her Gargoyle. Not This Series, Book 5. Written by Annie Nicholas. Narrated by B.J. Harrison. The chain imprisoning Nick to the dragon's castle wall scraped across the stone ledge. Newport's city lights twinkled just out of his reach, and he flexed his wings. Ian had used the same bonds to confine Victor, the city's vampire master, in the dungeon. If Victor hadn't been able to break free, then Nick didn't see how he could. Ancient vampires were considerably stronger than gargoyles. The dragon's concept of time meant Nick could be stuck here for a very, very long time. He hung his head, wings drooping off the edge of the outcrop where he perched. Nobody to talk to but two humorless dragons who liked to use him for target practice. He sighed and shifted his wings into a more comfortable position. Angie landed at the foot of his tower. What she lacked in grace was made up for by her adorable size and fluffy white feathers. The white dragon climbed the castle's stone wall to his position on the exterior of the east tower. She held a white paper bag in her sharp teeth. He caught the bag as she released it. "What's for dinner tonight?" The dragons were not that bad. They didn't starve him or keep him underground. Things could always be worse. "I thought we would try something different." He peeked inside. "Sushi?" He grimaced. Raw fish? Maybe she was trying to kill him. "Where is Ian?" He understood food. Nick had scarcely seen Angie since she'd announced her pregnancy. He smirked. Apparently male dragons lost their minds when their mates were with egg. If Ian had his way, she'd be barricaded inside the castle until their baby hatched. "It's good for you," she winked. "Ian brings you too much fried food. You'd think he was trying to give you high cholesterol." She glanced at the northern tower where Ian had his art studio. "He's been painting since yesterday morning. I didn't want to interrupt." "He'll be pissed that you went to the city alone, then climbed this wall." Nick added a generous amount of wasabi to a piece, hoping it would kill his taste buds before popping the sushi in his mouth. Her beautiful eyes narrowed. "He won't get angry if he doesn't know about it." Nick shuddered as the wasabi hit his palate. His eyes watered. It was the fresh stuff, the kind that peeled paint. "Are you here to set me free?" He wiped the spice-induced tears from his eyes. "I'd be very appreciative." He even tried to pout, which proved impossible while trying to breathe through the oral pain. She rustled the long feathers that grew from the edges of her wings. "No." "Do you plan on keeping me forever?" He continued to eat. "I'm not sure what to do with you, Nick. If I set you free, what will stop you from creating more mischief?" He pressed his hand to his heart. "Only my word, pretty lady. The world would be boring without shenanigans." She snorted, a thin flame shooting out her left nostril. "You should practice your fake remorse." Angie released her hold on the stones and glided to the ground, where she shifted back to her lovely, naked human form. He whistled, and she gave him the one-finger salute. This was what he received for being greedy. Where there were dragons, it only made sense that there was treasure. He'd been scoping out the castle when he'd startled Trixie, and she'd fallen down the stairs, breaking her neck. Yes, he had accidentally killed their human friend, but she had been saved by a vampire. Nick didn't see the issue. She hadn't remained dead long. He set the food aside, his appetite waning. "Is it gone?" A familiar voice whispered above his head. A huge grin cracked Nick's face, and he cranked his head back to scan the top of the tower. "Norm?" It was about time his brothers found him. They had separated a few weeks ago, just before Ian had taken him prisoner. A dark shadow blocked out the stars. "I don't see it." A different voice and a different brother. It? Nick twisted for a better look. You mean the dragon? Angie is gone inside the castle. This has been Not Her Gargoyle, Not This Series, Book 5. Written by Annie Nicholas. Narrated by B.J. Harrison.